Every day that you're dehydrated, your body is slowly shutting down, and you may have no idea that it's happening. The most conservative medical estimates say that 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated, but here's what they're not telling you. Clinicians who actually study this on a daily basis, like Dr. Zach Bush, for example, one of the world's leading physicians in cellular health, and many other doctors who actually test for this, what they're finding is that the number is actually 100%. In other words, every single one of us is chronically dehydrated. And here's the part that's going to change everything that you think you know about health. Hydration isn't about drinking more water. In fact, you could be drinking a gallon a day and still dying of thirst at the cellular level. Some types of water can even dehydrate you over time. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why dehydration is the hidden root cause behind chronic disease, why your 8 glasses a day are doing almost nothing, and the exact system that actually gets water where your body desperately needs it. So stay with me, because what you're about to learn could literally add decades to your life. The myth of I'm not dehydrated. So we've been taught to believe that dehydration is a problem for athletes or for people lost in the desert or for the elderly in nursing homes. We've been told that as long as we're not thirsty, as long as our urine is clear, as long as we're drinking enough, we're fine. But that's a myth, a dangerous, costly, and deeply limiting myth. So let's get specific, because the research here is unequivocal. Even a 1% drop in hydration, just 1%, can cause what neuroscientists call cognitive storms. In a landmark study that was published in the Journal of Nutrition, Dr. Lawrence Armstrong and his team found that mild dehydration impairs mood, memory, and brain function in healthy young women. And it's not just women. Subsequent studies have shown the same for men, for children, and for elders. A 1% drop in hydration can reduce your focus, your working memory, your reaction time, your emotional regulation by up to 30%. 30%. That's the difference between acing a test and blanking out, between feeling calm and feeling anxious, between being present with your loved ones or being lost in a fog. And here's the kicker. By the time you actually feel thirsty, you're already 2% dehydrated. Your body is so wise, so adaptive, that it will sacrifice your skin, your hair, your mood, your memory, your immune system just to keep your blood flowing and your heart beating. As Dr. Dana Cohen said, learning how to hydrate is the first step in treating and preventing chronic disease, and she's right. Chronic low-grade dehydration is linked to everything from heart disease and stroke to diabetes, to Alzheimer's, to depression, to autoimmune conditions. And the hidden costs are aging, disease, and the loss of self. In 2023, the National Institutes of Health published a 25-year longitudinal study of over 11,000 adults, and the results were stunning. Those with higher blood sodium levels, meaning less hydrated, they aged faster. They developed more chronic diseases and they died younger. And even people with sodium levels at the high end of normal were 50% more likely to show signs of accelerated aging and 20% more likely to die prematurely. But it's not a matter of having too much salt, it's a matter of having too little water. As Dr. Zach Bush said, if we could stay perfectly hydrated in the intracellular environment, our aging would slow down, if not completely reverse. And as Dr. Ishihara Yumi has said, aging is just a gradual process of drying out. It's not just about living longer, it's about living better. Dehydration is the silent saboteur of your vitality, your clarity, your creativity, your joy. It's the reason you feel tired after lunch, the reason you get a caffeine crash, the reason you can't remember names, the reason your skin looks dull, the reason your joints ache, the reason your moods swing, the reason that your immune system falters. As Dr. Batman-Gelage said, you're not sick, you're thirsty. So stop treating thirst with medication. Because in a body that's almost entirely water, if something goes off kilter in your health, water metabolism disturbance should be ruled out first. And that's just Occam's razor, right? The simplest solution is usually true. And yet it's usually the last thing that most people consider, because most people don't even realize that being well hydrated has very little to do with how much you drink. So just drinking more water isn't magically going to solve your health problems. Here's the science of hydration beyond the glass. Drinking more water is just irrigation, but hydration is a matter of how much water your cells can absorb, retain, and circulate. It's about mineral composition and hydrogen bond structure and isotopic ratio and conductive voltage of that water. It's how much water your fascia can channel, how much your lymph works more like a clean shower and less like clogged sewage. It's about each watershed of your body having the optimal water that it needs to prevent stagnation and inflammation and acidification. And if you're drinking water but your body isn't primed to receive and use it well at the cellular level, then you're not hydrating. You're just flushing, and that water is going from your gut to your blood to your kidneys and out. It's not getting into your cells where the real magic happens. And this is where the science gets quantum, because the flow of water through your cell membranes actually generates hydroelectric energy, voltage that is literally the fuel of your mitochondria. We're talking about 10,000 volts in a single epithelial cell. That's the energy of a lightning bolt right there in your tissues, hydroelectric water-conducted energy. When your biowater becomes bulk or uncharged or unstructured, you lose your voltage, your coherence, your vitality. Every reaction of your DNA is through water. Everything in the body happens through water. There are 10,000 water molecules surrounding each and every protein. Everything happens in, through, and because of water. So it's, again, really not about the water that you drink. It's about the quality, the structure, the mineral content, the movement, the light, the electromagnetic environment of the water that you're made of, and so many other hydrating lifestyle factors like we explore in the Internal Oceans course. The modern epidemic. We have to ask ourselves, if this problem is so pervasive, why is everyone dehydrated? Because it's not just because we don't drink enough, it's because our modern lifestyle is a perfect storm of dehydration. We live in climate-controlled boxes, we eat processed, dehydrating foods, we drink diuretics all day, we're bombarded by electromagnetic fields that disrupt our cellular water, we're cut off from the earth, from the sun, from the living waters of nature. We're basically living in a desert that's constantly drying us out, aging us faster every day in the modern Western world, and the consequences are everywhere. Chronic pain, dehydration. Fatigue, dehydration. Brain fog, dehydration. Mood swings, dehydration. High blood pressure, dehydration. Insulin resistance, dehydration. Even cancer, as Dr. Tom Cowan and Dr. Pat Mengele and deuteronomics experts and many others have argued, is rooted in the loss of structured water, the loss of cellular voltage, the loss of coherence in the body's living liquid terrain matrix, or the deuteration of biowater. What do? How do we reclaim our birthright as hydrated, radiant, sovereign beings of living water? Here's the path to radical hydration. First, we have to unlearn everything that we've been taught about hydration, because it's not about drinking 8 glasses of tainted tap liquid a day, and it's not about clear urine, and it's not about chugging bottled water. It's about restoring the living intelligence of water in your body, drinking water that is alive, structured, mineralized, charged, and blessed. And if you can, forage for spring water. The best water is a pure spring water that emerges from the earth in its own power, spiraling up, dissolving minerals, highly charged. But if you don't have access to that, you can still bring your drinking water back to life. You can filter, structure, balance, and energize your water. And this is exactly what I teach in my Navigating the Waters course at waterislife.academy. It's the foundation of everything that we offer at waterislife.shop. You can eat your water. Fruits, vegetables, chia seeds, omega-rich foods that actually help your cells retain hydration. You can move your body. Fascia is a hydraulic system, and movement is actually what pumps water into your cells. You can get sunlight and ground yourself. Light and earth are the original water chargers. Your biowater is like a battery, and these practices are like plugging your body water into an outlet. Avoid diuretics like caffeine, alcohol, and processed foods. They rob your body of water and minerals and increase the deuteration of your biowater. You can reconnect with the sacred, because water is not a commodity. It's a living, sentient intelligence. Bless your water, speak to it, honor it, and let it teach you. The invitation is to a new relationship with water, with life, and with yourself. So let's bring it home. If you take nothing else from this conversation, let it be this. You are not a dry, solid creature. You are water. You are a living, breathing, crystalline watershed of rivers of consciousness, and the quality of your water determines the quality of your life. As Dr. Carly Newday said, the function of both our consciousness and our physical system are both reflective of and dependent upon the structure of our biowaters. Thus, affecting the structure of the water in our body has a direct effect on the function of the physical system, as well as our mental and emotional states. So the next time you feel tired or anxious or forgetful or just a little off, don't reach for another coffee or another supplement or even another self-help book. Try starting with water. Start with the source of life. Start with the living intelligence that is the foundation of your being. This is the water awakening. If you want to go deeper, if you want to learn how to bring your water back to life, how to hydrate at the cellular level, how to reclaim your health, your energy, your intuition, your sovereignty, join me at waterislife.academy or listen to the Waters Life podcast on YouTube or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You could also join the newsletter at waterislife.love and explore the tools and resources that we have available for you at waterislife.shop for bringing your water back to life, because water is life. Hydration is health. And remember, you are a body of water, and you're worthy of being well, literally well, of being a deep well of water. That's what wellness is. So be well and be water, my friend.